The Banking Royal Commission says greed is to blame for misconduct by banks and other financial institutions. A scathing 1,000-page interim report has stopped short of making recommendations, but observed too often bad behaviour has gone unpunished by regulators.
Driven by greed and unpunished for misconduct. That's the damning assessment of Commissioner Kenneth Hayne. After months of shocking testimony that included charging dead people fees, today he delivered his 1,000-page interim report to the Governor-General. A frank and scathing assessment of the industry, according to the Treasurer.
Banks and other financial institutions have put profits before people. Greed has been the motive.
Commissioner Hayne stopped short of making recommendations, but did take aim at regulators, ASIC and APRA, for their seeming inability to punish bad behaviour. Much more often than not, when misconduct was revealed, little happened beyond apology from the entity, a drawn-out remediation program and protracted negotiation of a media release. Labor says if elected, it would establish an implementation task force to deliver the recommendations of the final report due in February.
We think it's very important to act swiftly and decisively to clean up this industry.
The recommendations appear unlikely to include more legislation. Passing some new law to say again, do not do that, would add an extra layer of legal complexity to an already complex regulatory regime, the Commissioner says. What would that gain? The banks pledging to do better and clean up their act.
Make no mistake, today is a day of shame for Australia's banks. Having lost the trust of the Australian people, we must now do whatever it takes to earn that trust back.
With the final report due in 5 months, the Treasurer says if an extension is requested, it will be granted. Over 9,000 submissions were received by the Royal Commission. So far, less than 30 customers have had the chance to tell their story. Tanya Hargraves feels she hasn't been heard and says the Commission should be expanded. She says a disastrous refinancing plan with the Commonwealth Bank saw her lose her farm, house and business.
Try and put a bad experience behind you. And I'm trying really hard to do that. But, you know, I'm 57 years of age and I can't work for 25 years the way I did when I was in my 30s and 40s. And it's like I have no future.
The next round of hearings will be in November. Hannah Sinclair, SBS World News.